how's everybody doing today? Back again with another video for you guys. And what I want to do today is just talk about a few devices that are either going to be available in 2017 or already available in 2017 that are good, piqued my interest, or I'm excited about or not so excited about. So just got a few devices here that I want to talk about. Just pull them up, run down the specs, tell you why I think that's interesting, tell you why I think they could have did better, maybe not. And yes, some of these are flagship devices, some of these are budget devices, some of these are available already, some of these haven't been released yet. So, and just so you know, this whole video is being recorded using the front-facing 5 megapixel camera on the LG G6. Alright, so jumping right in here, the first device I want to talk about, okay, let's start here. First device I want to talk about is the Moto X4. Now, this was announced at IFA, which I think was, I don't even know what the date is today, but this is like a few days ago, if not last week. But this was announced at IFA 2017, and pretty much, guys, after seeing the videos and doing the research on the specs, I think it's going to be a really, really solid device. So let's talk about what you're getting in this guy. One, you're getting a 5.2-inch 1080p display, so similar to the Moto G5 Plus. Okay, you're getting dual rear firing cameras. You're getting one 12 megapixel camera that can do 4K video recording, and you're getting one 8 megapixel camera. Alright, you're getting 3 gigs of RAM on this guy, with 32 gigs of onboard storage, I believe, and it has a 3000 milliamp hour battery. Another thing that's nice, and this is new, I have not at all gotten the chance to play with these processors, is this is one of the first devices that I know about that is being released with the Snapdragon 630 series processor. So that's supposed to be a big step up from the 625 and the 626. So if this does come to the States, because it hasn't been decided yet, pricing hasn't even been decided yet, I will be really interested in picking this one up. Alright, so let me just talk about a few more interesting things. Now, this guy is water resistant, IP68, so that means you can submerge it into 1 meter of water for 30 minutes. So 1 meter or 3 feet of water for 30 minutes. That's nice. Let's see, what else? Oh, a really nice feature is that you can connect up to, I believe it was either 4 to 5 Bluetooth devices at one time, and stream to those devices simultaneously and control those volumes on those devices simultaneously. So the reason why I think that's cool is because let's say you wanted to cuddle up and watch a movie with your significant other or whatever, and you didn't really want to use the TV or whatnot because you want to cuddle up, you want to get close, you know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, you don't really want to have something blasting, maybe you live in an apartment, you don't want to disturb the neighbors and what have you, but you do have a nice quality of Bluetooth headphones, like the H2s here, or something similar, and you want to stream the movie or what have you. Maybe you're watching Netflix, Amazon Prime Now Video. You want to stream that to both sets of earphones, if I could talk, and enjoy your movie and cuddle up and everything's cool. So that's nice. Or maybe you're throwing an impromptu party and you only have Bluetooth devices and you want to link them all up so it runs simultaneously. You could do that as well. That was actually pretty cool. I've actually done something similar in the past. but I actually had multiple devices hooked up to multiple speakers in order to get that to work. But see, with this one device, you have one device that you can connect up to all of your speakers simultaneously. So that's why I thought that was kind of cool. So let's see, other things. It's going to be running Android 7.1 Nougat out of the box. You got the Adreno 508 GPU. That's cool, that's cool. 32 gigs of RAM, like I said. You can put a up to 256 gig micro SD card. And pretty much, since it's Motorola, you already know that they're going to make it so the micro SD card can be adaptable storage. Pretty much every Motorola device that I've had, that I've featured on the channel, has that. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about Motorola devices. Okay? So, yeah, I'd say that about does it. Really, really solid device. Oh, and it does come with USB Type-C, and it does have a headphone jack as well. So really, really solid device, and really, from what I can gather, it's pretty much marked as like a mid-range to upper budget tier device. So that's really, really good. And if it does come to the States, and Motorola, now owned by Lenovo, if they price it right, ooh, they're gonna solidify that budget mid-range market that they have on lock. They pretty much have that on lock with the E series, the G series, and the Z Play series. But if they could come out with something like this, they're pretty much going to shut it down across the board. So, up next, what else do I want to talk about? And I apologize, guys, because this video might get a little long. But, you know, I felt like I had to get this stuff off my chest. After I make a video and I get everything out, I tend to feel a little bit better. So, you know, if it's helpful, cool. If you like it, cool. Drop the thumbs up. You know what to do. Let's keep it moving. So, up next, I want to talk about the LG V30. And, guys, I got to tell you guys, as I said, I have the G6 right now, and I'm eligible to jump. So when the V30 becomes available, instead of doing a pre-order and what have you, I'll probably just wait till it's available in the store, go down to the T-Mobile store and do what I have to do. So, you know, on the same token, could do the same thing with the Note 8 when that comes out as well. But we're going to talk about the Note 8 in a little bit. This one specifically about the V30. And guys, on paper, I have to tell you, this guy sounds like a phenomenal device. And from what the information that I've gathered so far and some videos that I've checked out, it looks like a phenomenal device as well. So, similar to your G6, you have your glass and metal unibody. Different, you have a 6-inch OLED display, so not LCD display. It's an OLED display that is Quad HD. Alright, you have dual rear firing cameras on the back. One is 16 megapixels that can do 4K, and one is 13 megapixels, and that's a wide angle camera there. Then you have 4 gigs of RAM. You got your Snapdragon 835 processor in there, and you have your 3300 milliamp hour battery. Let's keep it moving here. Other things, again, you got your waterproofing, your IP68, you got your wireless charging, all that good stuff is in here. Again, similar to the G6, the display is rated for HDR+, so if you're going to be able to watch really, really crispy 4K content on your device, if it supports HDR, it's going to look really, really good. Similar to the display on the G6, watching Netflix and things of that nature that support 4K and HDR content look really, really good on the G6. I gotta tell you guys. Yeah. So you're gonna have a new redesigned UI. Now it's not finalized, and from what I can gather, a lot of the videos out there are using pre-release hardware and software, so nothing's really finalized yet. It was really just announced. It hasn't even really been released. There's no pricing or anything like that. But yeah, you got a 5 megapixel front facing camera on this guy. Got your headphone jack. It has a quad DAC. So if you're not Bluetooth, if you're not a Bluetooth enthusiast like myself, and you like the more richness of having wired headphones, or have a nice quality pair of wired headphones, and because of the DAC that's built in here, theoretically you should get a nice, really good sound. Now I say theoretically because I'm not an expert, and this is just based on the information that I've gathered, and I have not tested it or anything like that, and I probably won't if I pick it up, because you know your boy is hashtag no cables all day, because I ain't got time to be snagged or be tripping over all those things. So it's hashtag no cables all day. So, but it is nice to see that you do have that quad DAC in there, because you know, I know the internet was all abuzz when the G6 came out, and it's like certain markets get wireless charging, other markets get the quad DAC. So it's nice to see that the V30 series, they get your quad DAC and you also get your wireless charging. So there's that. Oh, also nice, this guy is going to be having Bluetooth 5.0. So maybe they may have something similar to the S8, where you can connect up multiple Bluetooth simultaneously. Maybe they'll have something similar to the Moto X4. I don't know yet, but it has Bluetooth 5.0. Alright, and pretty much, yeah, you know, you got your fingerprint scanner, non-removable battery, and pricing has not been announced yet. But it sounds like a really, really solid device, and I'm really interested in picking it up, especially since it's being marketed as a multimedia / camera centric device for content creators, people of that nature. So you guys know I make YouTube videos all day, so you know, having a nice quality camera will, you know, it can only help improve the overall quality levels of the channel. So that's always nice. But yeah, it sounds really, really good. But on that same token, I've been burned by a lot of LG products in the past. Some more than others. Sorry, I can't talk today, guys. But if I do pick it up, I'm gonna really, really test it. Similar to what I did with the G6. Granted, I had to actually swap out my G6 for a new G6 because the fingerprint sensor stopped working after about 2 months. But other than that, the G6 has been and is a phenomenal performer and a phenomenal phone with a few quirks here and there. But it comes down to personal preference for those quirks. So let's keep it moving. So that was the V30 there. Up next, let me see what we want to talk about next here. Up next, let's talk about the Note 8. Let's get this guy out of the way. So I'm pretty sure everybody knows all about the Note 8 already. So you got your 6.3-inch quad HD display with your infinity display technology. You got your dual rear firing 12 megapixel cameras with optical image stabilization and what have you. Got your 6 gigs of RAM, which in my opinion any Samsung device needs. Sorry, just gotta throw that out there. You got your 3300 milliamp hour battery. You got wireless charging. You got fast charge. You got waterproofing, IP68. They say water resistance, but since it does have a full submersion capabilities, that's why I made interchange resistant with proof, because I could drop it in the water and it could stay submerged as long as it's 3 feet for up to 30 minutes. So in my opinion, that kind of makes it waterproof, but they say water resistant. So, you know, I had to throw that out there. Then it has Bluetooth 5.0, and similar to the S8 and S8 Plus, you can connect up 2 Bluetooth devices simultaneously. Now, I've done some research, and turns out that may or may not be compatible with the current version of Android. If y'all want to learn more on that, you can check out some videos over at Android Authority. Your boy Gary Sims is really good with explaining that stuff, and he goes into that stuff in further detail. So I may link those videos down below. But it's a really nice feature, and it's really good to see that they got that Bluetooth 5.0, which they already had. Then, you know, since it's a Notes device, you have your S Pen and all your S Pen functionality, all that good stuff there. Gorilla Glass 5, you know how Samsung does it. Now, if you're in the States, you're going to get the Snapdragon 835 processor. If you're overseas or in Europe, you're going to get the, the Exynos variant, the Exynos 8895 octa-core variant there. And you got a few different storage models here as well. All these storage models come with 6 gigs of RAM. But you have 6 gigs, 64 gigs, 6 gigs, 128, and 6 gigs, 256. So you got a bunch of options, and you do have a micro SD card expansion as well. So it is what it is. But yeah, other than that, you got USB Type-C, all that good stuff. I'm pretty sure everybody knows a bunch of stuff about the Note 8. Samsung devices are notoriously popular, and you know, yeah. But still, in my opinion, it sounds like a good device on paper. But I wasn't wowed, because you already know Samsung devices are gonna be phenomenal for like the first 4 to 6 months, and then they may get a little bit laggy after that. But they pack in a bunch of features, so you use what you use, and you decide what you don't want to use, and you leave it at that. But yeah, I wasn't really wowed by it, you know. A lot of the Note series Samsung devices back in the day, the Note 3, wow. The Note 5, wow. The Note 7, wow. You know what I'm saying? Note 8, you did what you had to do. But I already know it's going to be a good device. So I may bring it in, I may not bring it in. I don't know, but I just wasn't wowed. So, yeah, that's the Note 8 there. Okay, up next, what do I want to talk about now? Alright, yeah, let's go into this one, because, you know, I was happy and disappointed at the same time. So up next, I just want to talk about the Moto G5S Plus. That's right, let me say it again, the Moto G5S Plus. Not the Moto G5 Plus, the S5 Plus. Alright? And this, in my opinion, is what the Moto G5 Plus should have been. That in no way, shape, or form is to say that the Moto G5 Plus is bad. No, that's actually a phenomenal device, and I've actually picked it up. I've reviewed it. I have videos on the channel about it. It's a really, really good device. But pay attention here. When you hear some of the stuff about the Moto G5S Plus, you're going to be like, well, they could have just skipped over the 5 Plus and just gave us the S5 Plus. But again, you have a 5.5 inch 1080p display. I mean, it's a plus. You would expect to have a big display. Wink wink. E4 Plus 5.5 inch display. G4 Plus 5.5 inch display. G5 Plus 5.2 inch display. Really? Okay. So 5S Plus 5.5 inch 1080p display. You got 4 gigs of RAM, and you got 32 gigs of onboard storage. You got your Snapdragon 625, which is a phenomenal processor, and you're going to get some really good battery life. Trust me. You got 3000 milliamp hour battery. You got dual rear firing cameras. One is a 12, and I believe one is an 8. Okay. And what else do you have here? It's going to be running the latest version of Android 7.1. Got your Adreno 506 GPU, and you got your storage options here. So you got 3 gigs, 32 gigs, 4 gigs, 64 gigs with micro SD card expansion. And you know, since it's a Motorola device, you already know it may come with the adaptable storage feature, which is always a plus. Okay? And that camera on the back can do 4K. I would expect nothing less because the G5 Plus did 4K. So the G5S Plus better do 4K. So you know, I would expect nothing less. Bluetooth 4.2, dual band Wi-Fi, all the good stuff is in here. Fingerprint sensor. I don't see anything about any water resistance, but you know, a lot of Motorola devices today come with at least a splash-proof nano coating. So if it doesn't get a full submersion rating, it's probably gonna come with a splash-proof coating. Okay, no USB Type-C, micro USB still. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now this is available over in India, so I've been checking out a lot of Indian YouTubers, and it seems to be a really good device. I don't know if it's coming to the States. No pricing for the States have been announced yet, not that I know of. But giving my opinions on it, it sounds like a really good device, and it looks really good, y'all. I have to say, all metal unibody design, really good. Incorporates pretty much everything from the G5 Plus and builds on it in certain areas. And from what I can gather, it's actually cheaper than the G5 Plus. So this is why I was a little disappointed, because in my opinion, this is what the G5 Plus should have been from the get-go. Why not? Well, you're still, if it's a good device, as a consumer, you're still going to get our money anyway. So why not just go the extra mile and give us what you know we're going to want? Alright? Yeah. So that's the Moto G5 S Plus. I hope that comes to the States, because if it does, I will be picking that up, because I really love my my Moto G5 Plus. Granted, I had to let it go to bring in other stuff for the channel, but if the G5 S Plus comes, I definitely got to pick that up. Alright, so what are we going to talk about next? Let me see, what else do I have here? Let's see. Yeah, okay. So up next, I just wanted to talk about the ZTE Blade Z Max. Alright, now I do believe that this one is already available at AT&T, Metro PCS. I don't think there's any availability for T-Mobile as of yet, but I know for AT&T customers, it's available at like $100. If not, with some discounts if you port some numbers in. For Metro PCS customers, I believe full retail price is $130. Now, if you're willing to do a port or you're doing an upgrade, then you get some discounts there. But let's talk about this, because from what I can gather, watching some of these videos here. Now, if you want to know about some of this stuff, please check out some of the videos by TechRight. He's a really good YouTuber, makes some phenomenal videos. I may leave those links down below in the video description. But the ZTE Blade Z Max sounds like a phenomenal device on paper, and from what I can gather from research and watching videos, it looks like a phenomenal device as well. So let's get into this. So you have a 6-inch 1080p display, similar to what you had on the Z Max Pro, which again was a really good device. If I could talk, kind of miss that device. I may have to bring it back in. But you got a 6-inch 1080p display. You got dual rear firing cameras. You got a 16 megapixel camera, and I think it's an 8 megapixel camera. And this one is not a wide angle lens. It's like a regular lens and a telephoto lens. I really don't like telephoto lenses. I don't really care for blur effects, you know, blurring out backgrounds and all that stuff. I'm just gonna try and take the best automatic picture possible and keep it moving, or take the best automatic video possible and keep it moving. So why would you put a telephoto lens on there? Oh, it helps with the zoom. Digital zoom is not that good anyway. It's gotten better, but really, if you want the best possible zoom, you just get up there with your device, get in as close as you can. But they got a telephoto lens. It is what it is. 2 gigs of RAM, Snapdragon 835 processor, which is really, really good. I've actually tested some 835 processor devices. They're really good, and you know, they're battery efficient. 4080 milliamp hour battery. That's gonna be a battery beast right there. It's gonna be a beast. Okay. Other things. Let's see what else we got here. It's running Android 7.1.1 Nougat. You got your Snapdragon 435 processor, as I've said, Adreno 505, and you have 2 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of onboard storage with micro SD card expansion. And one of the things I like about ZTE devices, they're similar to Motorola in that they add features they only think their customers are going to use. And yes, they do give you the ability to make your micro SD card adaptable storage. So you can make your micro SD card internal storage, which is always a plus. Okay? And I don't understand why you have to differentiate between manufacturers. It's a built-in feature in Android. It should be available on every Android device. Samsung talking to you, fix that. LG talking to you, fix that. Don't know why you have that. We need to be able to do more with our SD cards other than making it portable storage. Fix that. It runs better if you make it internal storage. But it's really good to see that I know ZTE is going to have that. That was already on the Z Max Pro, so why would they take something out that already worked so well on a previous device? Yeah. So let's keep it moving. Got no 4K video recording here. And oh, my mistake. It's a 16 megapixel primary and a 2 megapixel telephoto there. So yeah. Alright, got an 8 megapixel front facing camera, 1080p video recording on these guys, Bluetooth 4.2, no dual pan Wi-Fi, but it is what it is, USB Type-C, so on and so forth. And yeah, the available price today is $130, so yeah, it's available today if you guys want to pick it up. Yeah. All in all, I have to say it sounds like a really, really solid device. And honestly, I can't complain. If it was available on T-Mobile, I'd probably pick it up. Now, I may go down to the Metro store and see if I could just buy it outright. But, you know, some of those lower-end companies, even though you're trying to buy it outright, sometimes they say, we can't unlock it for you unless you use our service for at least, I think it was 90 days. Like I bought a Cricket device and I tried to get it unlocked, and it was like I have to use the service for at least 3 months. And I'm like, why? I paid full cost for the device. The device is fully paid for. Just unlock my device, and they couldn't actually do it for me. So, you know, that's why I tend to go unlocked or buy from my main carrier. But who knows, I may take a trip down to the Metro store and see if they'll let me buy it full retail and unlock it and bring out some videos on it. Don't know yet. But it sounds like a really good device, and it looks like a really good device as well. And again, I'm going to leave some links down to TechRight's channel so you guys could see some videos on that. Alright, so what's next? Got a bunch of stuff here that I want to talk about with you guys. Let me see. Let's keep it in the budget arena. So up next, I don't know if you guys follow, but recently in the past couple months, T-Mobile has released their T-Mobile device. So this is the T-Mobile Revel, and it's pretty good. It's a budget device, not gonna break the bank. On paper, it sounds really, really good. I actually played around with it in the store, and it's good. It's good. And check out my Project 13. He actually did some videos on it. Didn't look half bad. I'll probably leave a link to his channel down in the description as well if y'all want to check out those videos. But the T-Mobile Revel. So let's see what we got here. We got a 5.5 inch 720p display. Now you guys already know we're not going to get discouraged by the 720p display. A good display is a good display. Got a 13 megapixel rear firing camera, 2 gigs of RAM, and I believe it comes with a Snapdragon processor or a MediaTek processor. So if it's optimized right, then the processor won't really matter. So we'll see. Got a 3000 milliamp hour battery. Good stuff, good stuff. Alright, let me see. You are running Android 7.0 Nougat, so not 7.1.1, but it is Nougat, so that means you do have your Nougat features. Alright, and you got a Mali T860 GPU, so yeah, it does look like they're running a MediaTek processor, the MediaTek 6738. Now, some MediaTek processors are phenomenal, others could definitely use some work, but at the end of the day, it's all about optimization. You optimize the software with the hardware, you're going to have a really, really good device. If you don't, your device is going to suffer and it will show. So, I don't know, I haven't actually had the device. I did play around with it in the store for a little bit, but who knows, decided not to pull the trigger, but I might. But other than that, you got your Bluetooth 4.2, so not the latest, but you got your micro USB, so no USB Type-C. It is what it is. And honestly, and keep in mind guys, this is just my opinion, because I know people get really mad when I say this, but honestly, I feel like micro USB Type-C is not as fast charging as it should be, okay? And keep in mind, that's just my opinion. You guys may think it's the bee's knees, whatever, but I feel like my micro USB charging cables just seem to charge a little bit faster than my micro USB Type-C, my Type-C charging cables. Granted, I may have gotten a little bit spoiled using Motorola turbochargers and rapid chargers and quick chargers. I got quick chargers plugged into the wall over here, so I may have been super spoiled by the type of quick chargers and turbochargers that I use, and as a result, it might skew my view on the Type-C quick charging. I just don't feel it's as fast as it's marketed to be. But that's just my opinion. Now, I know whoever watches this is still going to butcher me in the comments, but it's just my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. That's just mine. But yeah, keeping it moving, you got standard stuff here. Let's see, did I say what the front-facing camera was? I don't think I did. 5 megapixel front-facing camera with LED flash. No 4K video recording, but you got 1080p. So, basic stuff, and a 3000 milliamp hour battery. And yeah, you can pick this up right now today from T-Mobile outright for $125. So that's a really good price. Really good price. I may just pick that up just cause. It's always good to have a decent performing budget device around. You never know when you might need it. And could bring you guys some videos on it. But again, if you do want to check out some videos on it, my Project 13 has already done some video coverage. I'll link to his channel down below so y'all can check those videos out. So let's keep it moving. And I think I'm almost done here. Yeah, let me see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 left, guys. Bear with me. Got to get this stuff off my chest. So Up next, I think I want to talk about, bang, yeah, let's talk about the LG Q6. Now this is a budget device again, and this is available overseas. I don't know if it's coming to the States. If it does, I definitely see about picking it up. But let's get into this. So the Q6, it's basically like your G6, but you're losing out on certain features. You don't have dual cameras. You still got the wide angle camera, but you don't have the dual cameras. You don't have the fingerprint sensor. You have a smaller display that's 1080p, not quad HD, but it's nice. You got a 13 megapixel camera. You got one 13 megapixel camera because it's not no dual cameras on the Q6. Okay, which can only record up to 1080p, which is not bad. Nice crispy 1080p video is always good, and you save a lot of storage space on recording. Then you have 4 gigs of RAM, Snapdragon 435 processor, which is pretty good. You got a 3000 milliamp hour battery in here. Let's see. Corning Gorilla Glass 3. Android 7.1.1 Nougat, which you already know is going to have LG skin on top, which is not bad. Not bad. In my opinion, LG skin is a lot better than Samsung, but it's not stock. I know some of you guys prefer a more stock experience. I prefer a more stock experience, but it is what it is. And if it's optimized, if the software and hardware is optimized anything like the G6, it's going to be buttery smooth. So, yeah. And let's see, you got a few storage options here. So you do have micro SD card expansion. It does have an Adreno 505 GPU. And let's see, you got your storage options are 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage, 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of internal storage, and then you got a 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage. That's a Q6A model. So you got a regular Q6 is 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of internal storage. Then you got your Q6 Plus, which is 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage. So it's kind of weird what LG's doing here, because it seems like they come out with their regular devices under the regular device name, and then for that slight beef up, they throw on the Plus. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of like what Samsung did, because you got your S8, put your slight beef up on it, got your S8 Plus. Or you got your S7, put your slight beef up on it, you got your S7 Edge Plus, S6 Edge Plus. So I guess if they're gonna put a slight little beef up on it, they're gonna throw on the Plus. So again, the regular one, 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage. The Plus, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage. The base, 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of storage. The base is the Q6A. Alright, other than that, you do have a headphone jack. You got a 5 megapixel front facing camera, 1080p video recording, 13 megapixel rear facing camera on this guy, Bluetooth 4.2, micro USB, no type C, pretty standard affair, and 3000 milliamp hour battery again. No pricing for the United States. It is available overseas, but yeah. And I gotta say now, some pretty decent specs in there. And LG makes some really good cameras. If these cameras on the Q6 are even a fraction of anything you get on the G6, you're gonna have some really good cameras. Alright? So that's that. Let's keep it moving. So we got 3 left in here. So let's talk about this next. So up next, we got the Moto Z2 Force. And really, these next two are interchangeable, and I'm gonna get into why I may just lump them together. So you got the Z2 Force, you got the Z Play, and you got the Z Play 2. Okay, and the reason why, so you got the Z Force, the Z2 Force, the Z Play, and the Z Play 2. And the reason why I say these are interchangeable, because yes, Motorola, now owned by Lenovo, made some slight improvements, but in some cases, I would recommend the last generation model over the newer one, and all of these guys take advantage of the motor mods, because they got those pins on the back, and that will work across any of these devices. So I would probably recommend you save a little bit of money and go with last year's device. But if you want the more up-to-date internals, because you know the 835 processor, that's what's going to eventually give you the capability to do gigabit data connections, so you'll be able to download and upload videos extremely fast. And I know for a fact that T-Mobile is actually rolling out that network, and it should be available by 2019. So if you do get the newer versions, you're getting a more future-proof device. But keep in mind, when these carriers roll out those tower improvements, it's not just gonna affect the newer devices, it's going to filter down to all the older devices as well. So even if you pick up an older device, you're still going to get some really good speeds. Okay, but talking about the Z2 Force, you're pretty much getting a flagship device here. You're getting a 5.5 inch Quad HD display. Again, you got dual firing cameras on the back. One's monochrome, one's primary, so it's a 12 megapixel sensor. You could do 4K video recording. You got 4 gigs of RAM and Snapdragon 835. This is the one that kills me though. This is the one that kills me. Oh, I clicked something. This is the one that kills me. The battery on this guy is 2730. Let me say that again. 2730. With a Quad HD display and a Snapdragon 835. What are you doing? That battery is gonna whoops real quick. Now I know everybody could say optimization. There's only so much optimization you can do. Now, I've seen good battery life from small battery cells like this. Like the Xperia devices, really good. Nextbit Robin, really good. Small battery bank, really good battery life. It's possible, but keep in mind now what I said. Those didn't have any Quad HD displays, so Quad HD display with a small battery. I don't know. I don't think so. But, yeah. But, I guess that's just more of an incentive to get your young motor mods there. So, they're going to try and get money about you anywhere. So, yeah. Is what it is. Other than that, you got your standard stuff here. So, the Force series has the shatterproof display. So, you can pretty much run this guy over with a tank, so to speak, and at least your display will still work. I don't know about the rest of your device, but your display will be fine. So there's that shatterproof technology in there. Then yeah, you got your 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage with micro SD card expansion, and it's a Motorola device, so you can make your micro SD card internal storage. Yeah. Yeah, got your headphone jack on this one, which is weird because the regular Z doesn't have a headphone jack. Okay, and USB Type C, Bluetooth 4.2, dual band Wi-Fi, all that good stuff is there. So now let's jump down to the regular Z Force, last year's model. This one had a bigger battery. I think it was like 3,000 milliamp hours, and same display technology. The fingerprint design was a little bit different. It didn't have a dual firing camera on the back. It had a 16 megapixel sensor, and in my opinion, now granted, these are just my opinions based on research. I did play with the Z Force 2 in the store, snapped a few pictures, played around with it a little bit. Didn't really like it, and for the price that it was going for, couldn't see myself doing that. But the Z Force, the first generation, you can always find a good deal on that. So I would probably recommend that one over this one. You know. But yeah, it's a slight downgrade. No dual firing cameras. Fingerprint sensor is more square as opposed to the oval that they're going with now. You don't have your fingerprint navigation on the square one. But if you use it, then you're gonna be sad. If you don't use it, then you won't care. So it is what it is. But in my opinion, although the Force 2 is a good device, I don't agree with the battery cuts. So I would probably recommend the original Force over the Force 2. Alright, now let's jump over. Real quick. Let's jump over to the Z Play and the Z Play 2. And I gotta tell you, let me pull it up here because I want to make sure I get it right. So the Z Play is a slight upgrade over the Z Play 2. I say slight because of the internals, but if you're going for overall perspective, then the slight redesign